Isaiah chapter 10, starting at verse 1, and it reads, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, unrighteous laws, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed." Because some of these laws, like for instance, the big beautiful bill, are going to be extremely detrimental to, so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, West Indians, and Haitians, God's true chosen people, to your lives. I was sitting pondering the fact of, it's coming out. The same people that you look to for guidance and leadership is some of the most decrepit and abominable individuals on the planet. And something major is about to happen. I can't say exactly what, but I know it's going to mimic, or it's going to be in line with what the scriptures actually say. It says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed." It says to turn aside the needy from judgment. Who are the needy? Scriptures tell you in the Bible, Israel is the poor and needy. So-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, West Indians, and Haitians, God's true chosen people, the biblical Hebrew Israelites. To turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. And pretty much, even with, the social programs, in order for, a lot of black mothers to qualify for things like Section 8 and food stamps, you have to pretty much allow Esau Edom into your business. You got to tell them how many people in the household. If you get Section 8, 9 times out of 10, the man or the father of the children can't reside with you, And the scriptures tell us that, we shall go to our enemy for the want of everything, or all things, roughly paraphrased. And think about it. At a time when, inflation is at an all-time high, and, the price of goods are so expensive, when people are needing more and more help, they're cutting aid. They're going to actually be more into your personal finances and business. They've even changed the age for you to be able to receive assistance if you have children. I think it went from you can receive aid all the way up to the child is 18 to now it's pretty much at the age of 14 they cut them off. So life isn't getting better, but it's actually getting harder. And Ezekiel chapter 7 comes to mind because the word evil in that verse is bad times. Evil is a compound word. Eve, time, ill, bad. So if you can't see bad times are here, then the Lord definitely not dealing with you. If you are so naive, it's a trend going on right now. I was listening to the brother from In the News. He was talking about how you got a lot of people. He said, "Sit your broke ass down." He said, "Sit your broke ass down. You ain't got no money. Ain't nobody got no money." And what's her name? Her channel, I think it's like something Homestead. But she do a lot of videos, and everyday people ranting about what's going on as far as their personal situation, and you see more and more videos like that, all on TikTok. I don't really watch TikTok, but the point being, you got a lot of people complaining because they're in despair, which is, they feeling hopeless. They don't believe in a heavenly power, or if they do believe in something beyond this realm, it's not the proper name. It's one of the idols or something like that. So when times really get hard, what do you think these people gonna do? They gonna submit. That's why that phrase, "you will own nothing and be happy," is literally being quoted and said, because this is the mindset of these people. These people, really have that Ezekiel chapter 28 mindset. And this video is to show you, they're putting forth technology so they can actually play like they are the Most High. So I'm going to start off by giving all praise, all honor, all glory to call Loyam La Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Hakodash, double honors to the elders and to the apostles that I learned this truth from. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Akwat out there listening and learning. Lord, willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but home subscribe to this truth. To you, I say Shalom. It's the brother Yahweh Sop, and I'm coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh. Hashem Yahushai, Yahweh meaning He is, He exists, or He to be. Hashem, Baz, and Haz, Hashem His name. Yahushai meaning He saves, or He deliver. Two names of the Most High God and His Son, who people ignorantly call God, and Jesus Christ, whose true name in the Paleo Hebrew is Yahweh. Hashem Yahushai. This lesson is inspired by pretty much this video that I came across on YouTube. I figured, Spirit jumped on me, because he was just breaking some stuff down that I didn't even know. And, why would you, when you just watch the video, this should, like, get you emotional to a degree. Which, as men, we're supposed to check our emotions. I'm going to try to really start, emotion, the Heavenly Father deals with emotion. That's why he's talking about, his wrath, which is righteous indignation, righteous anger. Because look at the wickedness of this place. The scriptures talk about the wickedness of this place have reached onto the heavens. And it's just about, that's why the Lord is working throughout the earth. What's that? 2 Ezra chapter 9. And then the end is manifest, meaning suddenly appearing. Again, the elders and a lot of brothers been in the spirit. We almost out of here. And like I said again, a lot of stuff is moving quickly. And again, me personally, speaking as a man, but hopefully the Lord is, putting the spirit to say this, I don't see those, they send warships and submarines and, all these different equipment out, on the border of Iran, in that region rather. I don't see them just saying, oh, well, they arming them, so we gonna just turn back. No, you done committed. Just to send that shit out there costing money. Why do you think that they implemented Donald Trump and released all this information? Because they're putting him in a position, you gotta do it. You get what I'm saying? Think about it. This man is put in a position where he can be impeached. You think he going out without a fight? Esau, Edom don't even want to give up his kingdom, let alone you think DJ Trump, the king of Babylon, is going to go without a fight? Why do you think he militarized all these different, National Guards and this ICE, his Gestapo, that know that they breaking the law? That's the hypocrisy of a hypocrite. If that shit was happening to one of their family members or whatnot, they'd be appalled, ready to, take up arms. This is Joe Paul Mooney talk about. He say, he didn't understand. He's talking about Africans never came and got us. He said any other nation could declare war on Babylon the Great. That right there proves that we want the same people. They didn't have no problem selling you to Esau, Edom because of the fact that you want the same people. But I'm all over the place, so Salakia. But fair use, I'm not profiting enough for this. I'm just about to line some stuff up with what this video says, copyright disclaimer, fair use, and just watch what they got in store for us. That's why, scripture's talking about hastening the days. I hate when you two do that shit because, again, I had it on the video. They put it on what they want.
How many people have seen a police program that's being used called Palantir? It is in your police officer's car on your police officer's computer. So while you've got the person pulled over, you can start to drill down on this person. It's not just like a DMV photo and an NCIC anymore. You can see all their bank accounts, the balance in their bank accounts, the last times they declared cash somewhere. You can see every time they hit a flock camera anywhere in the country. Flock is a giant national traffic monitoring system that is basically everywhere now. And they're taking photographs at every intersection all day. And it's using AI to read license plates and put identities of people, places, and it's...
Now, before I continue, think about this. Why do you need to know my bank account information? For all you, 2/3 ass niggas that thinking the game, even T.I. told you that, you know what I mean? Who said that? I think it was Jeezy. He said, street money don't go far. You know what I mean? And then when you realize that the devil got his hand in that shit, you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, you got people that maneuver outside of the system. But for the most part, like, the devil got, he know what's, the devil got programs where they release certain shit. They'll confiscate drugs and guns and then re-release that shit back into the community. This is how corrupt this shit is. But why do you need to know my bank account information? Because due to the, like, for instance, a police officer will, like the elder broke down, which is the law. Unless you do a traffic, like you break a traffic law, they don't have the right to pull you over. But they want to know, like, say for instance, you driving somebody else's car. Say you driving your woman car, and you, a man driving a female car. They run the plate. They want to know who you are. You got to think about it. They have monthly quotas they got to meet on pulling people over. They love to catch somebody with a DUI. Take time to think about this. This is a place where it's not illegal to drink and drive. It's illegal to be over the limit. Who really, when you say over the limit, basically, legally, the drinking limit is 1 glass of wine, 1 bottle of beer, or 1 shot of liquor. Then your body, within an hour, is supposed to metabolize that and you're not drunk. Who really just has one of those? You got police officers with DUIs. But to show you how full of shit the system is, they will, if drinking and driving was so illegal, why do bars have parking lots? This is a very corrupt ass city, a kingdom, a wicked ass government. It's all about money and to prove that, for you to have layaway rent programs. So that means if you having trouble struggling to pay your rent, when you get to a point, say for instance you ain't got a job and it take you 6 months to get a job, how the fuck do you expect to pay that? You'll probably never pay that off. So again, it goes into the corruptness of this place. But again, say for instance, your bank account say you only got $50 in there, but they pull you over and you got $3,000 in your pocket. Now, how you gonna prove that? How you gonna prove that's your money? They made movies about this. There's a movie, I can't think of, I don't know the name of it, but got the dude from Miami Vice in it, Don Johnson, and it's a Jake that played the main character, and pretty much his cousin, I think he getting out the service, and his plan was to buy a truck and start like pulling loads or whatever. But his cousin was. A long story short, it's like some I can't think of what movie like that too. It's like some Black Rambo type shit for real. Like I was just seeing shorts of it. It looked pretty good, but I can't find the name of it. Long story short though, he had like 30,000 from like pretty much him getting out the service, and he got all his money in cash because his plan was to buy this truck, and they confiscated it. Because he went through one of these racist ass sundown towns. I'm gonna try to find that movie too. So yeah, this devil got a whole trick bag full of plotting and scheming against you tribes.
Keeping all that data, like all of it. That's what they've got in their car right now, and we're not getting that in discovery. We're not able to confront it, and we're not able to use it as Brady evidence. We've got Fourth Amendment issues galore, obviously. I didn't realize how prevalent it was. There has never been a surveillance program in the history of the United States that was not used brutally and in a corrupt fashion. And now we have the biggest surveillance system that we've ever had. How many?
I'm gonna play this one more time, and this is coming from somebody that's in the system, a defense lawyer. You get what I'm saying? He said, well, what's the discovery on that? Why do you need my bank account information? And then the thing is, what I find funny, because they'll make it seem like just because you got a family, you just the most wicked person in the earth. You know what I mean? But yet and still playing as if like you so naive. Like you got people that are really like demons out here. Like your politicians, for instance, that literally never been convicted of nothing but doing more wickedness than I've ever seen in my life. You know how abominable and evil to sit there nonchalantly and touch on a child? To sit there nonchalantly and it makes so much sense. I mean, I grew up in the era when we would see the kids on the back of the milk box. Then they just stopped doing that shit. Remember that?
People have seen a police program that's being used called Palantir. It is in your police officer's car on your police officer's computer. So while you've got the person pulled over, you can start to drill down on this person. It's not just like a DMV photo and an NCIC anymore. You can see all their bank accounts.
I can see you wanting to know if they got a criminal history and see if you got a license. But what do you need to know my bank account information for? Everybody ponder that. Like, that's not beyond breach of privacy. So yeah, we about to be on the prison planet. 2nd Ezra chapter 15, 16, all that, which we already seeing, but it's about to intensify.
Balance in their bank accounts. The last times they declared cash somewhere, you can see every time they hit a flock camera anywhere in the country. Flock is a giant national traffic monitoring system that is basically everywhere now, and they're taking photographs at every intersection all day, and it's using AI to like read license plates and put identities of people, places, and it's just keeping all that data, like all of it. That's what they've got in their car right now, and we're not getting that in discovery. We're not able to confront it, and we're not able to use it as Brady evidence. We've got Fourth Amendment issues galore, obviously. I didn't realize how prevalent it was. There has never been a surveillance program in the history of the United States that was not used brutally and in a corrupt fashion. And now we have the biggest surveillance system that we've ever had. How many?
And it's deep because, you know, the scriptures talk about how this place is polluted and pretty much, what's that, Revelation chapter 17 about, you know, because the nations drank of the wine of this place, they're going to pretty much shoot missiles on it, you know. This place has corrupted the whole world. So this is a corrupt place and it's going to corrupt the whole world. So it has to be, you know, brought to utter desolation. So, you know, what's that? Psalms 94 talks about the throne of iniquity that causes mischief by a law. This is some mischievous shit. And, you know, not only do they got the power of the sword, which is the gun, you know, the ICBMs, the modern day weaponry. Shit, they got bullets that shoot around corners. And then you talk about the Black Panther, talk about we gonna fight. You got that dude amping the shit up. Probably an agent of chaos, you know, agent prop, an agent, damn, I can't even think of the word. But, you know, you got individuals that set up to make they seem like they for the cause, but actually, you know, wolves in sheep's clothing sent to agitate the situation. You know, like during the Black Lives Matter protests, you know. Well, you got certain people, they just peacefully protest, and then you got somebody that just throw a Molotov cocktail. I mean, this is the book of Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. And you see people mourning all day. So got to tell you who's in rulership, the wicked. You know, I got another job. You know, the Lord, I mean, just keep on. But, you know, like the brother said, you either going to, your character either going to be made, you're going to make character or break character. You know, I can't stand Esau Edom. You know, the devil was going to pull up next to me, but then he just pulled all the way up to the other side, which is cool. Because, again, I understand your future. So, you know, I used to get mad, like I said, again, as much as it's like me, I hate you twice as much, you know. But at the same time, now, you know, again, what can you really do? All you can accept, I mean, this is the will of the Lord. You know, as long as you don't disrespect me, we gotta accept some of this shit. We in another man's kingdom. You get what I'm saying? We're you barely a king of your own household. Again, like I said, the broad could call the police on you, and I've only seen one dude, literally, the police come and they don't do nothing. And the one know why? Because he worked for the city. You know what I'm saying? He worked for the city, so they all knew him. You know, Esau Edom will come in your house and belittle you and make you feel stupid. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15. The point is verse 5. Behold, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Verse 6, for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. So we about to come into evil times, like I've already made known. We about to come into times of great mourning, despair, death, and destruction. So prepare your mind, your body and spirit. That's what brothers train for a multitude of reasons. But yeah, you should, you try to be in some kind of decent health. Is it, brother? You like for instance, you might have to run, but you out of shape to the point that you can't run. Run a mile. I'm gonna tell you a testimony. I remember one time when I was coming down to the camp. I don't even think I was in the camp yet, and it was a brother that was part of the camp, and I'm waiting on the brothers to show up, and I was still smoking at the time. This was years ago. You know what I mean? I haven't smoked in like 8 years, but point being, it was funny because, like I said again, I'm smoking. Nobody never seen me, but the brother smoking. Saw me smoking. He was like, that's when I was, babe, still in, like I said, not understanding, not knowing anything. But the brother was like, literally, he ain't want to see me destroyed. And it's crazy because I don't even think he's in the truth anymore. Saying all that to say this, I got wind. You know what I mean? Like, that was one of the first things I worked on when I stopped smoking and start, actually exercising, cardio. They was talking about Andrew Tate. This guy's supposed to be a world famous kickboxer. He got in the ring and looked as stupid. Got his ass embarrassed. You know what I mean? Muscle bound, He-Man physique. If you're saying that fight was comical. That one sniper dude was talking about that. He was like, his fight looked worse than Mike Tyson's. You could see Mike Tyson's was staged. That's what the whole Jake Paul shit is. You know what I mean? They said that's why, what's his name? I can't think of his name, but remember right after that, he almost got killed. And they was like, pretty much because he didn't go by the script. I can see that. Because you got to think about this. You got other people involved with him making these bets and money and whatnot. You know what I mean? For entertainment purposes, but people bet on this shit. So you don't know how many people that's of the elite that make money with that. I think Tank planned on doing the same thing. Tank was going to knock his ass out. That's why they brought up the whole allegations of him hitting on women. I don't think he was hitting on women like that. That's the price of having fame, though. Now they kind of blackballed him. So yeah, this is a wicked ass world. I'm gonna end the lesson with this because again, we about to see evils and more evils, and just prepare your mind for it. It's the book of Daniel chapter 12. The point is verse 10, and it reads, "Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly." Yeah. So don't be surprised that the other thing, I hear this Save America Act, which they passed, you didn't even know that was in a bill. They said pretty much they gonna do all this different shit with the voting. Now I don't vote anyway, you know what I mean? But, I didn't really check into it completely, but they was talking about like, if you don't do certain things, you're not even gonna be on the ballot to be registered as a vote and all this extra shit. And all that proved to me, because I did a lesson on that about how voting is a ritual. It's part of a ritual that keeps this wicked ass place afloat. But I've been stopped voting. I think the last time I voted was when Obama was in office. I think I voted twice. I think when Bush was in office, and I voted when Obama was in office. And with Bush, we've all voted hoping his ass wouldn't get reelected, and he said, "I'm still your president." And with Obama, me and this female friend that got something to do with my testimony, after we both voted for him, after we voted, I know I did, I was like, damn, I shouldn't have not voted for this nigga. And now this nigga's in the E-files. Because that nigga's an insider. So don't be surprised that the wicked decrees that they're going to keep on pressing and pushing you
Social
with it.
security check should have increased.
It says, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. So the wise going to understand that this place is over with. It's done. While the wicked, they still going to try to hold on to it, especially 2/3 of the nation of Israel. So I'm going to end it with this because, again, our big brother, our Lord and Savior, got to be on his way because, again, there's nothing left. You know, even with motherfucking, if you get a income tax, even if you get one, everything is so expensive, it won't matter. You know what I mean? Like, motherfuckers don't get that, unless, like the one brother, you know, in the news, say you spend your money wisely. You know what I mean? Whichever little pennies you get. You know, everything expensive on the housing market. The place I'm living in is motherfucking falling apart. And they trying to sell it. They not trying to do no work on it. I'm praying the Lord just get me up out of that shit. You know what I mean? What's the next step? You know? I definitely ain't gonna buy one though. You know what I mean? You try to rent a 2-bedroom, that bitch $1,100. So unless you on some Section 8 or some shit like that. So, you know, it's gotta be the end because again, like a particular brother made the statement. He said, the Lord ain't gonna have us living like this forever. He can't. These people, you know, the wickedness of this place is basically encompassing us to the point that it's trying to drown us. So the Lord got to give us our reprieve. So this is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. Jacob's trouble. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Then if any man shall say, that's the point. So it's going to get so bad out here, the Lord will have to shorten the days. Because wickedness has exceedingly polluted the earth. And it's not going to get better. Evils and only evils, behold, has come. So if you're a so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Asian, I implore you to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments of your power, whose true name in the Paleo Hebrew is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, you will be destroyed. With that, I want to give all praise, all honor, all glory to Call Haloyim La Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Kodash. Double honors to the elders, to the apostles that I learned this truth from. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives. Freedom to do so, now more so than never. Shalom to the Akim and the Aquat out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, subscribing to this truth to you. I say shalom. Till next time, Lord willingly. Shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasharallah and Mawatha Lababal.